So family caregivers often go unnoticed because everyone is focused on the care recipient. So if you have a spouse with cancer, everybody is going to be focused on that person with cancer and not necessarily the people around them, taking care of them, taking them to chemo, making sure that they're cared for during the entire length of their illness, through the death process potentially. No one's thinking of the caregiver per se because everything's focused on the care recipient. And that includes the caregiver themselves.
Over this journey, my focal point was always my mom. My mom, what does she need, what does she need? But then, you get, 5 years, 10 years, now 15 years, you get into, okay, well, what do I need? And you put yourself last, but you're the caregiver. So if something happens to you, the whole thing is over. And there's not enough research for the caregiver and how it affects the actual caregiver.
I think it's really important to research caregivers and understand what their needs are, because in Canada right now there are over 8.1 million caregivers. So that's 1 in 4 people in Canada are a caregiver. And when you ask people, have you ever been a caregiver? Over 13 million people say at some point in my life up until now, I have been a caregiver. So you're either have been a caregiver, you're currently a caregiver, you will become a caregiver, or you'll need a caregiver.
My mom is the primary caregiver for my grandma, who's lived with me since I was born. With deteriorating health, there is increased caregiving, and there is more that my mom has to do and has to sacrifice in order to care for my grandma. But at the same time, too, it's still very enriching because our grandma's with us. She's still very part of our family. She's still very integrated and included in everything that we do. So we're really just trying to make sure that my mom is going to be able to balance both, while at the same time asking her what she needs, because very rarely do we ever ask caregivers, what they need in order to do their jobs.
AgeWell is a network of researchers from across a number of different disciplines, both Canadian and international, who are looking at ways to develop new technologies that will better support older adults and their caregivers. So AgeWell includes researchers from 29 different universities across Canada and elsewhere. We've got 82 industry and NGO sector partners, and we've got 31 federal and provincial policy departments engaged as well, all focused on trying to better meet the needs of older adults and their caregivers through new innovative technologies.
Join us at www.agewell-nce.ca.